Well, I have a writing partner as well, Mike Behrman. He co-wrote it with me. We were just sitting around about 3 years ago, and we wanted to do a little story. Obviously, I've been in the business for about 15 years, and in the action side of the business. And I wanted to get a shot to jump in the first seat and be a first unit director. And so we just got together, and I had this idea, and we just started brainstorming it out, and it all kind of came to life about 3 years ago. And then we couldn't get really anyone to read the script, and it was that that long process of doors closing on you, and and pass, and then so I just said, hey, let's shoot a short. So last year I shot a short film, and based on this script, kind of condensed it all, a 15-minute short, submitted it to the film festivals, and it got a lot of recognition. It won awards, and I think that kind of stirred the pot for people to then read the script. And then obviously Grindstone got a hold of it, Barry Brooker and Stan Whitley, and they got involved. And then from there they teamed up with Randall Emmett, obviously, and Curtis Jackson, and they struck a deal with, I don't know all the legal gist of how it all happened as far as Lionsgate and their involvement, but they are really the guys that made all this possible for me. Without them, obviously I wouldn't be sitting here now directing my movie. So that's kind of the Cliff Note version of it. Well, Grand Rapids is cold. I'm not gonna lie to you. And being from Florida, it's really cold for me. I've never been here. It's a beautiful city. I really didn't know what to expect until I got off the plane, and then when I got here I was like, wow, this is a really pretty city. It's small, but it kind of gives you all the things we needed to bring the story to life. It's based in Detroit, so it kind of has that city feel. Obviously it's much cleaner and not as gritty. But I think, it being summertime and snow on the ground and all that, it's really has added a great look to our film. Well, obviously I came from the action background. I started as a stuntman, and then I jumped into stunt coordinating and fight choreography, and then jumped into second unit directing. So, so obviously some of the movies that I've done are, Elektra, Fast and Furious, Triple X, Underworld. So I've been around, action at a whole different level. So I think that, and you learn to work. There's all kinds of moving parts when it comes to stunts. So I think that you really have to have this team that works well together to be able to pull it off, because each guy has a job to do. So I think when you get into this position, as far as a first unit director, when it comes to the action sequences, they just, because I've been doing them for so long, it just seems to fall into place a little faster. It's like I can catch up on my day, and then I can concentrate more on story, because I kind of have that as my go-to thing, and but they're both equally as challenging. Action is its own animal, as well as telling a story and trying to get the performance out of actors is a whole different level of brain power. But I'm enjoying both, but they both kind of coexist. They both coexist for sure. I use some ability from the action world to help me pull performances out of guys, and then I also use that format of being able to shoot fast because of the second unit experience I've had. So it ties together well when you have a movie and you don't have a long time to shoot. It's a very tight schedule. So I think all those things help me in such a big way that I could execute this movie at the level that I'm able to. Yeah, the story came about, I've been involved in a lot of comic book kind of feel movies, a lot of CGI, big stunts, very popcorn summer blockbusters. And, to come up with this idea was more of a story about, I just want to do a guy's kind of raw underground movie, and with no special effects, no CGI, none of that world really, and just tell a good story. So it's about three boys that grow up together, young men that grow up together, and they kind of live on the other side of the tracks, and they're struggling to make money. They got their hands, in things they shouldn't have, and they basically get over their heads. They pull off a diamond heist, and one of them is more over his head than the other two, and kind of betrays his childhood friends and shoots them and leaves them for dead. And with that, one of them doesn't die and one of them does. So Sonny's character comes back and revenges his best friend's death. And along that, there's some twists and turns. He ends up being a fish out of water by him going around town and trying to find Vince, which is the guy that kind of betrayed him. He's kind of unturned some things with the mob that he wasn't in counter on. So he's got like a lot of things happening. He's got the mob after him. He's got Vince after him. There's a lot of things that are kind of converging to create just this different, unique movie that we haven't really seen before. So it's not just a revenge movie. It's more of, it's kind of, lack of better words, a love story. It's about three best friends that grew up together, and to have one betray you and wanting to know why that happened is kind of a heavy topic. But along that way, he gets off track and he kind of stirs up some shit he shouldn't stir up. Obviously, I'm a fan of a lot of directors out there, and Tarantino and Scorsese and all that, and I like those kind of movies. So I think it's cool to take an audience for a ride. I think that's the biggest thing for me, and you don't want to be predictable, so you try to find those little nuances within the script that can lead you someplace, but in an unconventional kind of way, and then it's kind of like a surprise for the audience. I gotta tell you, working with Bruce Willis, I mean, where do you start? It's kind of a surreal moment for me. It's kind of like a kid in a candy store. He has actually been amazing. I mean, a guy's his experience and his talent. It's just, I don't know. I get on set and it's like, wow, it's pretty crazy. But that all said, he comes in and he makes what was written so much better. He just makes me better as a filmmaker, makes the script better, and he just, there's just not enough good things to say about what he does, and I think that the general public doesn't get to see that, but to work that closely with them and the little things that he does, you go, wow, man, that's incredible. It's like every day I become better. When I leave this job, I'll be definitely a better filmmaker, because of him solely. And it's really just been an honor to get this opportunity. Well, Curtis he's just a completely different animal. I mean, he is a machine when it comes to dedication, work. I mean, after work, we'll get together and work more on the script. He's all about excellence. And second place is not in his vocabulary at all. He wants to be the best. And whatever that takes, whatever energy, effort, commitment, he's gonna put it out there to make sure that happens. So, I mean, as a director, it's kind of like the biggest blessing, because he's leading your ship. He's the lead actor of this movie, and he's carrying it. So he sets the precedent for everyone else to bring their A game as well. He's just a monster talent. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about him. He's just an incredible guy, and I tell you, I don't know if there's any limit for that guy. What an amazing choice. I mean, to me, I feel like I got lucky. I've always been a fan of his. He always plays the pretty boy, preppy, rich kid, and I don't think he's ever got an opportunity to play, a bad guy with the cutting edge, hardened. So to me, this is really him, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about that guy. I mean, he comes to set and he is just fucking takes it to a whole different level. He is very good at what he does, and it is a treat to watch him perform. And every take, he'll give you something different, something new, and he just knows the character so well. And I'm really excited for fans to see him do this part. I don't think they've seen this chapter of his life. I think people are going to look at him way differently. I got to tell you, I mean, working with Randy and George, and I think for me, it was a huge eye-opener. I think they're so savvy at what they do, and they're so experienced at what they do. It's stuff that you just want to learn at film school. So I've learned so much from them. They're so good at what they do and how they do it. And I guess I come from the artistic side, and I wasn't necessarily, I didn't understand the business side. So this has been a real eye-opener for me of how the actual business works and how much effort it takes on their end to get even a movie off the ground. I mean, I always, complain about, I didn't get this today, I didn't get that today, or, whether it be a location or, I wanted that actor, but, it didn't work for whatever reason. you know, you forget about how much effort and energy it takes for them to get this movie off the ground, you know, 6 months before I'm even here shooting. So, I mean, hats off to them for doing that. And to be able to see that up close gives me a whole different appreciation for producers, and it definitely gives me a whole different appreciation for what it takes to get a movie made in this town. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Randy's. Obviously, I've watched him fight many times, so to have him come here, he's probably one of the most laid-back guys, and at the same time, you know, could kill you. So it's always that you know, weird dichotomy. But he is you know, he comes from that athletic side, extremely dedicated. So I think it just crosses over to this world, and the transition that he's going to make is going to be phenomenal. So I think he's going to do really, really well on this project. The shooting schedule for me is the biggest challenge. You know, it's 19 days, 18 and a half days. I think that coming from the action world, I'm used to shooting fast, so that definitely I was groomed for this. But it is brutal, and the other X factor of this is obviously the cold. Things move a little slower, you know, when it's snowing outside. But that is probably the biggest challenge to deliver a great movie, a great looking movie, great performances. You have to maximize your day and your time. So you have to be very, very planned out so you get your performances, because you know you're going to run out of sunlight and other things that might come into play. So I think for me, I just go home every night, got my playbook, I come to work, I'm just prepared, and I don't veer off that playbook in order to be able to make this movie on time and on budget with the parameters that I'm given. You know, I hope it takes them for a ride. I think they're going to see, obviously, unbelievable action, but I think most importantly, they're going to see an action movie with a great story and with great performances from the actors. From Ryan Felipe has just been killing it as his performance. Obviously, Bruce Willis, you know, I mean, he just is so pro, it's ridiculous. And I think that Curtis, people are going to be surprised when they see him and he carries this movie and how great he really is. I think that is, people are going to really enjoy the story, and the action is going to play as a secondary thing. It's like, you know, and I think maybe the action is the reason why they're showing up, but they're going to realize that, you know, it's not really an action movie. It's more of a, you know, good story that has action.